So in this video, we're going to talk about the park on the right manoeuvre, and I'm going to show you some tips to make this a lot easier. Now, it is a relatively easy manoeuvre, but most people that fail this fail for observations. And the reason for that is because they spend far too much time looking at the wing mirror and they don't acknowledge what's going on around them. It's important to remember that 50% of the manoeuvre is marked as control. So how close you are to the curb, whether you stall, roll back, if you're jolty, things like that. But the other 50% of the things that the examiner is going to be marking you on is observations. So even if you do the manoeuvre technically perfect, if you don't look around enough, it's still a fail. Now, with the park on the right, the reason for doing this is if you've parked on the right hand side of the road, which remember you can only do during daytime hours, and that's because you only have reflectors at the back of your car, so you need to be facing the flow of traffic. But during the daytime, you are allowed to park on the right. But what could happen is, like in this situation here, we then have a vehicle that's pulled up in front of us. We can't see properly what's going on. So we then need to reverse back to make it safe. So we can spend more time observing what's going on. We're not coming out blind. We're playing it safe. So there is a reason why we actually use this manoeuvre in the real world. It's not just to be done on the driving test. So now I'll show you how it's done. So along the test, the examiner is going to ask you to pull up on the right hand side behind a vehicle potentially, or maybe by a piece of street furniture, so something like a lamppost or a tree. Now, the first thing that you need to do is make sure that there's no oncoming vehicles that you're going to be pulling in front of. Effectively, you're taking a right turn. So if I was going to pull over here, for instance, I would wait for these vehicles to go through first. Once it is safe, and you can see I'm just updating my right mirror, even the little right shoulder check is fine, before pulling up on the right hand side. Remember, 30 centimeters roughly from the curb, make your life easier. Once you're here, secure, and the examiner will then say to you, what I'd like you to do is reverse it to back 2 car lengths. So you're going to do your POM routine. Now the tip is to keep it a little bit far from the curb. Don't allow it to be close. If I can see it's getting too far, bring it in with a quarter turn. If I can see it's getting too close, I bring it out a quarter turn. Now I've got this truck, so I'm just going to stop. I'm going to look around. I've got the car from behind. Got the van coming from ahead. Then after that, I should be fine. So then again, I've got the car from behind, so I'm going to stop. Little update of the wing mirror, little quick check steer. You can see I'm not holding that steer for very long. I don't want big angles. Now, I've come back my 2 car lengths. So at this point, I'm going to stop. And you can see distance from the curb here, I'm about that far. I'm not trying to be too close. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. Now, if it's safe, you can then pull away. Now, on the odd occasion that the examiner asks you to pull up on the right where there's a parked car, so say for instance I'm going to pull over here, your visibility is now going to be greatly impaired. The other thing as well we've got to think about is we've got the driveway here, so we've got to imagine where the driveway curb line will be. So I'm just going to look around. I can see I've got the oncoming vehicles here, nothing from behind though. After the next car looks like it's safe, blind spot checks, and then I can come back. Now, speed, it's a bit of a busier road, so I'm going to allow the car to come out a little bit. I've got the oncoming vehicle, so I'm going to stop. Got the car from behind. But if you're on a busier road, you can reverse back a little bit quicker, just so you've got a chance of getting back that 2 car lengths before any other vehicles come. I wouldn't let the car go flying back though. This speed is okay, so we're about sort of walking pace-ish. Stop, looking around. I'm going to lean across here because I need to see around that white car more clearly. It's safe, so I will then pull away and get back onto this left-hand side of the road as soon as you possibly can. So I hope that video has helped, and as always, if you do have any questions, please put a comment in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But remember, don't allow the car to be too close to the curb, don't make it more difficult than it needs to be, and plenty of observations. Do not fail for observations. It is very easy to do and it's extremely easy to fail for. All the best, and we'll speak soon.